Wow. I see some amazing faces. My name is Scott Macklin. I serve as the Executive Director of Global Online Learning for Trinity Western University. Let me add just a little nuance to that. I can now call myself Dr. Scott Macklin because I just got my PhD. So this is the first time I've actually, thank you. It's the first time I've actually said that publicly, so it feels pretty good. As I look around, I wonder about all the different places that you all are from and what led you here today. And as we think about land and place, we want to acknowledge we are located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Kwantlen, Katsi, and Stolo First Nations. We work here as uninvited visitors and honor and respect the indigenous peoples who have stewarded this land and whose relationship it is to continue to this day. Speaking of place, I was born and raised in Ohio in the United States. It's significant because it's actually known, at least in the United States, as the birthplace of aviation. That was the home of Wilbur and Orville Wright, who are credited with inventing the first aircraft. We can debate that because it's a little controversial, but at least that's what I was taught in school. And I don't know if you know this, but all license plates in Ohio say birthplace of aviation. So that's what I grew up with. Speaking of time, today's May 26th. I want to call out a couple significant things that happened on May 26th. Martin Luther was declared a heretic by the Edict of the Worms. The Ford Motor Company ended the production of its famed Model T, which helped democratize the automobile. The Challenger expedition and the Royal Society, that concluded safely. The youngest astronaut, Sally Ride, she was the youngest astronaut to travel space, was born on May 26th. I was also born on May 26th. So I have the honor of selling my birthday with the born day of the aviation school, and we need to give it up for this birthday. You know, I have friends who work for Boeing who tell me that in order to build something that flies, you need to get over 1 million different parts to work in formation and coordinate that. And I have some friends at NASA who tell me with enough thrust, you can get anything to fly. Well, thinking about how a school like this happens, one needs both organization structure and thrust direction. Structure and direction. Airspeed and velocity. I was told today that nose attitude is very important. Or is that altitude? Okay. Coordination of many moving parts and the will to know what the purpose of a place like this is and whose interests are being served. Growing up, my father would read and pray with me and my two younger brothers, and as he left our room and before he shut off the light, he'd always turn around and say, you'd pause. Vocation is the place where your greatest joy meets the world's greatest needs. And if you can find that space, that is your vocation. Now, thinking about that, he did that for many years, by the way, so it's ingrained. I had many flying dreams. and how, if you think about it, how many of you have had flying dreams? Can you think of a more joyful experience than a flying dream? Is there a more joyful experience than being able to fly? I mean, capture the imagination of flight. Well, now what do we look at? What is the world's greatest needs? Well, we know there's going to be 6,000 pilot shortage in Canada, and the global forecast is 260,000 by the year of 2030. Canada, this place, can play an important role and become a nexus point for the aviation workforce. And the Vancouver Aviation College is a community of experienced airline pilots who are looking to provide high-quality aviation education to applicants throughout the world. So one of the interesting things, I don't know if I saw this, I love the quotes on the posters. The one quote that I love when flying, taking off is optional, but landing is mandatory. So we're going to try to stick the landing today with the opening of this school. And there are many people responsible for raising and launching. And I want to hear from one more person from Ohio who I grew up in the town next to him, Senator John Glenn, astronaut, who said, "It has been my observation that the happiest people, the vibrant doers of the world, are almost always those who are putting into play, calling upon, depending on the greatest number of their God-given gifts, talents, and capabilities." This is a place and space where those talents have a chance to be exercised, to be nurtured, to grow, and to fly. So I think we should give that up.